Personally, I like to look at SEO as three parts. So the first part is your technical SEO. So structure the website. Are your like H tags, like do you have like good structure, right? Because if Google scans the page, and I've seen this a lot, it's very surprising. A lot of clients I've worked with don't have an H1, right? That's your main headline on your web page. And so Google's trying to understand the page, and if you're missing an H1, you're already going to struggle. So I always start with fixing that in the very beginning, in the first month. Usually try to fix all of that. And then the second part, well, the second and third part kind of come in a combination, and it's content with backlinks.
Hey, Masters, welcome to another episode of Path to Mastery podcast. And today we're with Mr. Brenton. And Brenton, you know what's weird is I just realized I don't even know your last name. Brenton, tell us your last name.
Yeah, Thomas. Yeah,
Brenton Thomas. All right, cool. I do know, though, that you are an expert with paid versus SEO advertising, which is why I wanted to jump on here with you and have that conversation. You've been 7+ years in this space. You deal with paid, organic, social media, both in corporate, and you've been in corporate in both agency roles, right? You're the founder of say it so I don't say it. Twibby.
Yeah, Twibby. Yeah,
I said it right.
Yeah.
All right, good. Digital marketing agency that has worked with businesses valued over $1 billion to bootstrap startups. That's a big number. He also has an MBA in international marketing from St. Mary's College of California. In his free time, he enjoys spending time with friends and family, man. Thanks for being on Path to Mastery podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here. Absolutely,
man. And so before we started recording, you were telling me about your journey from going to so we'll start there. We'll start why did you get into this? Like, how did you transition into this space?
Into marketing?
Yeah. Because you went from being in a corporate space, right? And you left the corporate space and then decided, okay, I'm just going to be an entrepreneur, right? So you took a risk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was going through corporate, and just it wasn't the best experience that I've had. Getting pulled into different rooms and getting cussed out by managers and things like that wasn't the best experience. But as time went on, I kind of found better and better places for me to work, and I would kind of job jump so that my title would keep increasing, right? So go from a specialist to a manager to a senior manager, and then I had. My most recent corporate job, I jumped to a director of marketing. I had just turned 30 a couple of years ago. And I was like, I'm on track. My goal was to be a CMO. That was definitely my life goal. Well, I wouldn't go as far as say life goal, but professional goal. And so I took the job, and turned out it was a bad culture fit. Just didn't align at all. And after 3 months, they let me go. And so I had like a little office here at my house, and I spent about an hour, calling my parents. I told my wife, I'm furious, And then after that hour, it's like, okay, well, what's the plan? What do you want to do from here? And so then after I finished that hour, got right into building a business plan, and how are we going to source leads and clients? And it's been 2.5 years since that day, and wouldn't trade it for the world. It's been a blessing in disguise to have the outcome I had when I had accepted that director job.
Well, congratulations, man. And you've been responsible for over $1 billion in ad revenue. Is that what you're telling me here or telling us?
Oh, we worked with companies that have over $1 billion in evaluation. So we've worked with large brands like Magic Eden. And so Magic Eden's like a NFT marketplace. So NFTs were super hot a couple of years ago. So we're working with them. And NFTs aren't quite as hot. So I don't know if their evaluation has gone under $1 billion, but
sure.
We've worked with quite the range of businesses.
Got it. All right. And how did you get good at this? Because I know there's a lot of people like was it natural for you, or how did you go about becoming good at like ads for SEO, paid? I want to also talk about the difference between versus paid and organic as well. I'd love to get into that with you as well. But how did you become really good at this?
Yeah, so I was really intrigued by it 10 years ago. And so I was trying to get a job, it's like right out of college. And no one would just give the job, and everyone would say you don't have the experience. And then it's like, well, how am I supposed to get the experience if no one will give it to me, right?
Mm.
And so I went onto LinkedIn and started reaching out to experts, in particular SEO. That really was intriguing to me, or fascinating. And so I met this guy. He lived in like Louisiana or something like that, and he would just jump on, and we would just talk for hours about SEO. And he would teach me, it was mostly technical SEO. And then from there, finally got a corporate job, and I was able to take the things that I had spoke during my meetings with this guy. We would talk for like 4 hours at a time, and I would take the things he taught me and then say that in interviews. And it's like it was enough to demonstrate that I know what I'm talking about. And then finally got a corporate job, and then just kept building and building. But it's hard to get the initial experience usually.
Yeah. So when you said technical SEO, what's the difference between technical SEO and just common SEO?
Yeah. So technical SEO is like looking at like response code errors, the structure of the website, like indexability, crawlability, stuff like
Got
that.
it. All the super nerdy stuff that most of us ain't going to be looking at, right?
Yeah, that's the fun stuff, though, right? Maybe it depends on who you
not
are.
fun for me. Yeah, yeah, I get it. Well, that's why we need people like you that are good at that stuff, right? That can look at that stuff. Because so talk to us then when it comes to paid ads, SEO. I know there's a lot of. Do you think it's like, what is there a mix? Like, should we be doing a certain amount of organic type stuff mixed with paid, or like, let's kind of start there, because I know a lot of people try to avoid spending any money, right? I know I did for quite a while myself, so maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but what are your thoughts on that question?
Yeah, my thoughts on this has recently changed. And so I had like a small team. I still have a small team, and they're writing a lot of content. And and as they're writing this content, I have an editor on my team who will review the content of the other team members, and then I'll do a final review. And I'm noticing that it's actually not that inexpensive. It's actually kind of expensive to do good SEO. You need content. We're also driving backlinks to our website, and that's a very manual process. And so, part of me kind of feels like, with paid ads, it's expensive. It can be expensive. You need to spend at least $1,500 to $2,000 per month on the very low end to get enough data to inform the machine learning and the algorithm. But I'm easily spending that on content, right? But I will say, paid ads is definitely a much faster kind of like result for it to affect your bottom line. Most businesses, they either want revenue or leads that lead to revenue, right? And then SEO is a much longer process. But once you stop paying for paid ads, the faucet turns off. With SEO, the faucet, it will always kind of keep going, but you need to update your content on your website. So kind of have to weigh out, the needs of the business.
So what I'm taking from that is SEO's kind of like paid is the fast way to just get some ads, get some names, get some leads, where the organic would be more of a longer term approach.
Yeah. And if you have like good cash flow coming into your business, hypothetically any business, then maybe you don't need paid ads to affect your bottom line immediately. And then you can slowly build up your SEO. But if you need immediate cash flow and, let's say times are kind of tough for your business, then I probably go into paid ads and test it out for like 2 to 3 months and see if you can start to get a nice return on your ad spend.
So what is the quality of like, do you get a lot of junk leads, or and you just have to kind of sift through them and find the good ones, or like what does that look like when you start buying leads? And let's clarify leads. Like we're talking about where do most of your clients advertise?
Google Ads.
Okay, Google Ads. Do you do anything on Meta too, like Facebook and Meta, or is it mostly just Google?
Yeah, if there's like a strong creative component to what you do. So like services, it's kind of tough to show like how great your service is. You could do it, but I just find Google Ads is better for services, and I find that Facebook is better for products. Right? You can show the products all the different types of ways, do a good photo shoot, test out different types of creative. Works really well on Facebook.
So help explain that deeper. So products versus services. What like? Can you give us an example?
Yeah, so services would be like if you provide like leadership coaching, or you're a lawyer, or like I work for one client that they help people with their student loan forgiveness.
Got
So
it.
services like that, or like blue collar services, plumbing, HVAC, etc. And then on the product side, yeah, anything that you would sell as tangible.
That makes sense. So more professional services on the Google, and because that's what people are searching for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a ton of sense. And then as far as what are some of the mistakes people make when they're going now? Do you do do you help people with the organic side as well, or do you just do the paid stuff?
I used to, and I just wasn't. I just didn't enjoy it. It's very time consuming. Just like community engagement and trying to. So I was working with a winery in Napa Valley, and so we were basically giving out like free wine to influencers, and so you have to do tons of outreach. You want to make sure it's a quality influencer, at least a certain number of followers. And then you also want to make sure that decent amount of engagement, because you can easily buy a couple thousand followers and look like an influencer, but your engagement is low. So that process takes a while, and then you send them the wine, and then they don't post about it, and then you're like, hey, I sent you a lot of free stuff. You need to talk about it. So it's a process.
Yeah, got it. All right, cool. So by the way, we are streaming on Clubhouse Live as well as we're doing this. So I'm gonna in a few minutes I'll open it up to questions. So if you guys are on Clubhouse, looks like we're about 30 people right now chilling with us on Clubhouse. So if you guys have any questions, you can raise your hands now, and Ree and Lisa will bring you up. Okay, so let's go back to SEO. What is the biggest like besides not like doing SEO, right? Like if I would look at myself, like we post all kinds of stuff, but like, I can't think of the last time I ever had one of my team members say, okay, let's focus on SEO. So like, what does that look like? Like, what would that just kind of give us if you're going to give us like the 101 class right now?
Yeah. So this is just personally, I like to look at SEO as three parts. So the first part is your technical SEO. So, structure of the website, are your like H tags, like you have like good structure, right? Because if Google scans the page, and I've seen this a lot, it's very surprising. A lot of clients I've worked with don't have an H1, right? That's your main headline on your web page. And so Google's trying to understand the page, and if you're missing an H1, you're already going to struggle. So I always start with fixing that in the very beginning, in the first month. Usually try to fix all of that. And then the second part, the second and third part kind of come in a combination, and it's content with backlinks. And so usually for the content piece, we'll start with keyword research, and then usually the client will either give thumbs up, thumbs down. If they like the keywords that we're basically saying, this is what we're going to write about, these are the topics, then we'll send them a creative brief. If they like the creative brief, then we write the full piece for them. That's 2,000 plus words. Keyword insertion is perfect. Good amount of internal links, external links, etc. And then that's kind of like the content process. And then we just keep redoing that process over and over. Find keywords, create a brief, then write the next piece of content, and then we move on to the next piece of content over and over. And then lastly, backlinks. So just trying to get our clients featured on third-party websites, and that tends to be like the ongoing process, is that content and those backlinks, building that at the same time.
Wow. So that's it's funny because as I think through my experience running ads, we never thought about the SEO. We never thought about the backlink. We just ran ads. And that's probably why we didn't get any results, right? Because it's more like, if I think of running ads, I'm thinking, oh, I'll just run an ad and then they're going to show my ad to people. But there's more than that, right? That's what at least that's what I'm taking from this conversation, listening. Like, you still have to have the right SEO. You still have to have the right content, the right backlinks, all that stuff. And then if you run ads, it'll be more effective. Is that accurate?
Not directly.
Okay.
I would say it definitely helps, right? Like, because you built your website out in an organic way that makes sense. And SEO also includes like your UX, your user experience, and you develop that user experience to help increase the conversion rate for SEO, but really it helps conversion rate across paid ads, across anything. And so someone comes through paid ads, and then you've already developed this great user experience on the website. You did it for SEO, but it also works for ads. So it helps in an indirect kind of way. Actually, maybe direct, I would say.
Well, I say if my website sucks and I'm paying for ads, I'm not going to get leads. I guess that's the layman's way to say it, right? I mean, that's kind of like what I'm thinking. Like right now, as I'm thinking about my experience with this, is not really, not that it sucks. I mean, it might look nice, but I don't know if there's an H1 set up. I don't think we have backlinks, right? Like, so this is good stuff.
Yeah. Well, if you have good content, it should happen naturally, right? Like, people find your episodes to your podcast and they go, oh, I gotta link back to this. That's how Google wants it to happen, but sometimes that's not the case.
Can you talk about advertising on YouTube? Do you do anything with that?
Yeah. So
video ads.
Yeah. Usually I don't create like a YouTube campaign, but I'll do a Performance Max campaign inside of Google Ads. And so that's basically search, display, YouTube, Gmail, Google Discovery, and I think there might be one other thing in there. But it's all the Google properties in one. And so I don't put all my eggs into the YouTube basket, just because most of my clients, they're not looking for like brand awareness. And that's what YouTube tends to be best for. So YouTube's in the mix. Only if YouTube can outperform everything else, then it'll get some budget. But if it can't, then no budget. It'll just go to other properties.
So you're saying it's a combination of everything works the best? Is that kind of?
Yeah, it's basically telling Google, I don't care where the conversions come from in this single Performance Max campaign. Just find me your property. If it all comes from display, then spend the whole budget there. I don't care. I just want to reach whatever goal I've set.
Okay, smart. All right, good stuff, man. Well, I want to open up to some questions from our friends here on Clubhouse. If anybody has any, do we have any hands raised? Doesn't look like we have. Do you guys have a question, Lisa or Ree? If not, anybody else can raise their hand. All right, well, it doesn't look like we have any questions yet, but we'll see if anybody raises their hands. So what would you say are the mistakes, the most common mistakes you see now when it comes to, people just putting their content out there, ads, paid, SEO, all that stuff?
Yeah, so going back to what I was saying about like not having like a good H1 and then preceding H2s and some H3s under those H2s. That's probably one of the most common errors. And that's really important to have. Another error or mistake, I would say, is not doing keyword research, just getting on and just writing about a topic. And I've noticed, like, so I'll work with like founders. And so I was working with a software company that basically helps with like emissions, helps corporations basically track their emissions. And so the founder is basically saying like, oh, we're going to write a blog post about like a very relevant topic in his mind, because he's in the industry, right? And he's like, we're going to write about this topic. And I'm like, I honestly, I think it will appeal to people in your industry. But when I take that keyword and pull it into like SEMrush and check like the search volume on it, it's virtually non-existent. And then you can see when you write articles without your keyword research, there's just like no traffic that's coming in off those posts, and you put a lot of time and thought into them. But it's just you could get you could go a lot further with one SEO'd piece of content compared to like 10 pieces that you just thought of off the top of your head.
That's smart. Do you have any specific sites or places you use to get the data on the keywords?
Yeah, I use SEMrush. Someone else on my team uses Uber Suggests, which is free. And
What
then
is it? Sim
Uber. Oh,
SimRush?
yeah, SEMrush. Yeah. SEM.
RUSH?
SEM Rush.
And then Uber, what?
Suggests.
Cool. All right. And there's a lot of them, right? I mean, I've heard other ones too. There's like keyword find. There's a bunch of them out there. Again, it's like this. See, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this to my team after and say, here's your homework. Study it. Or maybe I'll just say, call you and say, we need you to come in and handle this for us. That might be the smarter thing to do.
Yeah,
right?
more than happy. Yeah.
So what tell us about the H1, H2, like why is that important?
Yeah, so your H1 is kind of like it's your main headline, right? And it's kind of like a summary of the entire page. And so the Google bot is basically it's like crawling the page and it's trying to understand like, well, what is this page about? So I can figure out where to index it. Like, where does it fall in the index? And so when Google scans the page, it's looking for text that's wrapped in an H1, right? Like on the back end of the website. And when it doesn't find that, well, it's like, well, now it just has to guess what the page is about by kind of scanning it. And so you're kind of going up against pages that if they're on page one, they have most of their stuff kind of like dialed in. And so these pages are like declaring what this page is about while you're not. And Google's not going to take the time to like, oh, I think it's about this. Oh, it's like, oh, this should rank high. It's not going to do that. It's just going to say, well, you just won't rank as high. These other pages are telling me exactly what they're about.
Wow. So how would someone know? Like, would they go back and look at their, because like if I look at our content, we build on high level. Are you familiar with Go High Level?
I never heard of it. No.
No. You familiar with ClickFunnels? I'm guessing.
Yeah. It's a version of that.
Do you use ClickFunnels?
I've used it for a couple of clients.
Well, do you use like WordPress? Or what do you guys typically use to build on? Like, what's your preferred platform?
Yeah, so we use WordPress with the Yoast plugin.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So you guys are real builders. Like the ClickFunnels and high level, that's more just like they're giving you templates, but you guys are building from scratch. Yeah.
Yeah. It's easy. It's like a balance between like flexibility and like ease to build it versus customize the ability to customize. Basically, there's like a balance between the two. Yeah. And so if you go the WordPress route with Yoast, it's more work to get it started, but you can like tons of customization, like lots of detail into what you need to do to SEO your articles.
Interesting. So I'm guessing they must have this built in though to their funnels and stuff. Like, I mean, I don't know, who knows, right? Like you would think with like the H1, like, because if that's the most important thing that Google's searching for. So if I'm hearing you right, like when you put something out there, the H1 needs to have the right keyword, the right topic. Like that's probably the most important thing.
It's not the most, well, it's up there. Like
for searchability.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's like the most, but it's definitely like one of the most important things to do just on the technical SEO side is get your H tags right. And if you want to find out if your website has the right structure, just go to your homepage or whatever website, and then take your mouse and go right over what should be your H1, and then right click it. And it's going to say inspect, click inspect. And then you should see an H1. If it's not H1, maybe it's an H2 or an H3, but it'll be around the text that's in black.
So I'm going to mine now. So what would be a version of the H1? Would it be like the thing at the very top, or would it be the largest text in the center?
It'd probably be the largest.
All right. And then you right click and you do what? Oh, I see. Inspect. Look at this, man. You're teaching me stuff here. And then it says, let's see. It says, I mean, I'm not even sure where to look, but I see so much text. It does say strong in one place. I'll just stick with that.
Okay. And before strong, what does it say before strong?
It says, it says font weight crossed out. It says, yeah, you know what? I should probably have you take a look at this, because this is, let's see. Yeah, it's just a lot of code, man. I'm struggling here to. So right here, it says strong. Well, where it says proven and guaranteed sales and marketing, strong, but I don't know exactly like what that's referring to. I guess that. How would you know if it's the H1 or not?
It should say the text H1. If you send me the link right now in our chat, I can tell you right now.
Send you the link?
Yeah, in our private chat.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, let me try this. See if this works. Sorry for all y'all listening, but this is like live. Yeah, like we're doing live demo work here, right? I don't even know how to copy this, man. I may have to do this another time. So, but that's good to know, though. I appreciate that, and I think that's a great thing for all of us should be doing right now. And if it's in, again, I'm not. Maybe I'll shoot my site, or unless you want to take a look at it, go to my site. It's davidihill.com. That's it, David I. Hill. And what I did was I went to the center where it says proven and guaranteed sales and marketing training. I'm not even sure never even thought about that, like keywords or not. And we don't get any traffic to it. The only traffic we get is like some people we send. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Like I've never had anybody call me and say, "Oh my God, I found your website on the internet and you're amazing and I want to work with you." It's people that know us or know me through my podcast or social media or something,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. You see how it says strong, and then if you go one level up, it says H1. You see that?
No, but I already moved out of that page, but let me go back to it.
Okay.
So, okay, yeah.
It has brackets around it. Yeah.
Got it. Oh, yeah, I see that. Okay. So that's the H1.
Yeah, you're good. You just got to use the right keyword in that slot, whatever you're trying to rank for. But that's keyword research would tell you what the keyword is.
Got it. So my keywords right now are sales and marketing training, right? Proven. That would be how people would find me if somebody would search sales and marketing training.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting. So I should. Okay. Cool. Thank you, man. You're giving a lot of information. We appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
This is super helpful, man. This is like a masterclass you're teaching me, teaching all of us listening. So, well, we appreciate you. Tell me what else didn't I ask you that I should have asked you?
Let's see. I don't know. Paid ads, definitely great results for our clients. We're working with like a spirits brand, and we're running Facebook ads for them. And we a
spirits brand, is that like another like wine or something, alcohol?
Yeah, alcohol. Yeah.
Okay.
And we're seeing a 300% return on ad spend. We're using really broad audiences, and we make sure our conversion tracking is really dialed in, and then we optimize towards that conversion, which is purchases. And amazing results. I have a lot of like really technical advice, which we can't cover it all, but on a side note.
It's good, man. Well, I just want to say I appreciate what you've given us, and you've given us a lot, man. And so I'm going to see, does anybody have any questions? Again, I'll bring it back to Clubhouse for a minute. Anybody have a question for Brenton here? No, well, we just don't have a lot of techie people in the house today, Brenton. But I want to say I appreciate you. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you if they're interested in learning more about what you do or working with you?
Yeah, so I'll send you a Calendly link if anyone wants to connect or grab time. And so you can click the Calendly link. You can put in the show notes.
Okay.
And then also you can go to my website, twibbiagency.com. That's TWIBI agency.com. And, if you're looking just for some advice, I'm not necessarily, trying to make payment or anything. Of course, I'd love to work with some new clients, but more than happy just to connect, network with folks, hear what people got going on. So feel free to go to the website or the show note link, Calendly link that I'll give you.
So I'm thinking about, has you just told us the name of your company, twibby.com or Twibby Agency. Is called Path to Mastery. Again, people are like, what's Path to Mastery, right? Like, does that also because as I'm thinking like Twibby Agency, I'd be like, that doesn't seem like it would, or mine for, as well. Doesn't seem like that would be bringing a lot of SEO or anything. Does that matter as much or?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Google doesn't, like the actual domain name. Google says that there's not a lot of weight put on that, but there definitely is. Like if I had digitalmarketing.com was my website, you're definitely getting a boost, like 100%.
Yeah.
So it just means just have to work a little bit harder, on your content and get the blog going and get those backlinks.
So what if you had like Twibby digital marketing? Would that make a difference? Would that be better?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Good to know, man. Well, listen, bro, you shared a lot. I just want to say I appreciate you. Trying to think. I feel like we answered all the questions. I don't know if I missed anything. Is there anything else that you normally get asked that like I didn't ask you?
The name Twibby, like why
Got it. Okay, great question. Yeah, great question.
Yeah.
Sorry I didn't ask you that actually.
Yeah, no problem. Part of the challenge with SEO and like in the very beginning when you're picking a company name is you want to pick a brand name that you can own on Google. You'll own that term, right? So that if someone types in my last name Thomas, right? So it's a pretty common name. Someone types in Thomas marketing and 5 agencies show up and they're like, oh, which one was it? I don't quite remember. And then they sign up for another Thomas agency. You don't want to have to compete for your brand term. So Twibby is a very unique term. My name is Brenton Warren Thomas, BWT. Put some I's in there and you get Twibby.
All right, cool, man. Cool beans. All right. Well, listen, appreciate you. And I'll reach out, send me that email with your link and I'd love to learn more about what you guys charge. And we have clients. I have some, we build funnels for real estate agents and we just sub out all the ads. Like I don't get involved. Clearly you can tell I don't get involved in it. Right. But, but we're looking to take it to the next level ourselves. So I'd love to connect with you guys and see if maybe there's an opportunity we can work together.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. Well, let's grab some time after I'll email you. We'll find some time to speak.
All right. Perfect, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for jumping on the show and we'll talk to you soon, my man. Thank you.